Hey guys, welcome back. It took a long time to come back again on live stream, but yeah, I think it is worth. We have a really special guest today. His name is Gaurav Makhecha, and he is really kind-hearted people. He is person. Sorry. So yeah, let's welcome him. Yeah, hi. Yeah, hi Gaurav.
Hey, how are you?
Yeah, how are you? I'm fine. How
I'm
are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So what we are going to do today?
So we'll
I
talk about
I was actually excited and then I fumbled in the start. Okay. Okay. So what we are going to do today?
we're gonna talk about static analysis
Mm-hmm.
and um, what is it, why
Mm-hmm.
we should use it, how we can use it. Mainly the how part.
Uh-huh.
Many people would have heard about static analysis, but how it can be useful to our day-to-day projects and how we can improve our code base using that.
Mm-hmm. So we are going to use some packages, right, for the
Yeah,
Laravel.
right.
Okay.
Yes.
So before talking like more about the things what we are going to do, so can you please introduce like I know that you are a big guy, celebrity.
Not really. No, please.
Most of people know already you, right? So, but still, yeah, for the audience and for me, please can you share? Yeah.
Yeah, so for those who not know me, and I guess most of them may not know me, my name is Gaurav,
Mm-hmm.
and I am basically a PHP developer, a
Mm-hmm.
Laravel developer,
Mm-hmm.
and I run a very small company here in Rajkot,
Mm-hmm.
again Gujarat state, India,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, we mostly work with Laravel,
Mm-hmm.
Vue.js, and the ecosystem around it. So yes, just like you, I like Laravel, I like PHP,
Mm-hmm.
I like Vue.js, and the community.
Right, right. So the website is Fresh Bits, right?
Yeah, my company name is Fresh Bits Web Solutions.
Yeah, yeah. Super, super. So we have found it today. Okay, okay. So coming back to the topic, so you said that you will be talking about some validations, right? Around some validations, static analysis. Can you please tell me something about this, like just overall ideas? What I do?
Yeah, so I have a small preparation ready, so maybe we can just go ahead with
Yeah,
that.
I think that is a superb idea. Okay, so yeah, let's start. Let's get it started. Uh, Now your screen should be okay. Your presentation
Right.
should be on the screen. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Please take it away.
we can confirm that people can see it.
uh,
I'll just check in live.
mm-hmm.
Okay, I guess this is visible. All right.
Okay.
So yeah, this is static analysis,
Mm-hmm.
and let's see, what is it? So as per Wikipedia, static analysis is basically again performed on computer software, which includes
Mm-hmm.
web applications too, and it's performed without actually executing the programs, which means that we don't need to worry about anything affected, any client affected, any users affected, which is the very good point. We can run it anytime. We can run it locally. We can run it on the servers. We can run it in a CI environment. So that's a great point. We can run it anytime and as many times as we want.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, it's static in contrast to dynamic, which is generally done when the programs are being executed. But this is not enough. I mean, this doesn't tell you much. So let's go to the next step. As we talk about it, we will have an idea. So first, why use it? Of course, it looks great on your resume, right?
That
Like
is nice.
when you tell someone that okay, I'm graduated from Stanford, so wow, just like whenever you say that, okay, I use static analysis in my day-to-day program, it looks great. Jokes apart, basically, in short, you will deploy fewer bugs to production. You will write clearer code, more robust code. You need to write fewer tests for your code base if you're writing tests. If you're not, you should first of all.
Right.
But if you use static analysis, you will need to write fewer tests. So we'll see how as we move forward. And all this results in good night's sleep and happy weekends, which is all of us want it, right?
Yeah, yeah. That means
So
we can deploy on Friday as well, right? We can say
yeah,
that.
yes, yes. In fact, the maker of PHP Stan, which is the static analysis tool that we are using, he believes so that if you think that you shouldn't deploy on Fridays or you cannot deploy on Fridays, then any other day of the week is also not that safe for you. It's the same, right? You say that it's not good to deploy on Fridays because you fear that you will have issues. Then if you deploy on Tuesdays also, you will have issues, which means that you will be busy fixing those issues rather than developing new features or updating the existing features, which is not a good sign. So if you're taking it as an excuse, you need to work on something. And
Right.
again,
Totally agree. Totally
he
agree.
right. So he says so that you should be using, uh, in addition, of course, static analysis plus other tools to make sure that um, you don't fear your code. You write tests, you do static analysis, you perform other good things, and it helps you do everything like happy weekends and of course happy days after you left for the job.
Right.
So
And
yeah, all this.
also, I want to point one thing. So many companies are not focusing on TDD approach. That is also like I would encourage people to do it, because like you also mentioning, right. So writing tests is really good, and we
Yes,
should do it. So
we must do it. Yeah, TDD
yeah,
is
we
also
must do it.
fine, up to you. TDD, test driven development, okay, if it matches your taste, go for it. Again, it's better. Even if it's not TDD, pure TDD, it's
Hmm.
okay if you're not comfortable initially. You can start writing your features first, then you go ahead and write your tests. But do not move to the next feature without writing tests.
Right.
And so if you are someone who is working in a company, you should talk with the management there,
Hmm.
that for the betterment of us, for the company, we should do it. And if clients are not like paying for that, clients are not agreeing for that, we should talk with them in terms of package, that okay, we sell you, we do this part for you. Now testing is not separate, it's our job. We
Hmm.
have to do it, we will be doing it, and we don't want to work otherwise, because again, we want happy weekends, we want to have a very good product on our portfolio that works for the long term, right? So it's for
Right.
us, it's not for the clients. We are not doing anything extra for them by writing tests, it's for us, it's for the sake of the project. So the mentality that needs to change here is that it's part of the job, it's
Hmm.
not extra thing.
Right.
Anyway, coming back to the point, all this looks good, and we all want that we deploy fewer bugs and write clean code,
Hmm.
fewer tests, and but how it's gonna happen? So let's see. Let's have a very specific example of what kind of bugs can static analysis detect, or how can it help us basically with whatever we are doing now. If we start using static analysis, we make those extra efforts, how will it help? So I have a very simple example screenshot here. This is a simple screenshot from Stack Overflow. Maybe many of the viewers may have faced similar errors in the past. So this one is like, it says that expecting a parameter to be string, but array is given.
Yeah.
Now, why does this happen? Because PHP is a dynamic language. So it's not preventing you from adding something in a variable which is not of correct type. In fact, you don't also need to, you are not forced to specify the type of the variable from the very beginning. Unlike other statically typed languages where everything is fixed, even in mobile development,
Hmm.
you specify the data type of the variable first, and then whenever you change value, it checks that it has to be of proper data type. And what are the benefits? Okay, one of them is in front of us, that we don't need to face this at runtime, because there is no specific compilation phase uh, in PHP. We just save the file and then we run it in the browser. And if we forget to test something locally, especially when the project is big enough, it reaches production, and then something like this happens in production, which is bad. So because we are at runtime and we face something like this, it's not good. We have to prevent this. Especially when a code is going to production, being used by the users of our client, we should prevent this. So static analysis prevents this. It helps us prevent this because PHP is a dynamic language.
Right.
So we improve our types of our variables, of our class properties, of our methods, and then we don't face all these issues. So this is one example. Yeah, so exactly what I was saying here.
Okay.
uh, our life as a developer is always going to be in debugging, right? But debugging is at the compile time errors is way better than debugging runtime errors, because
Runtime. Yeah.
we have received a call from our client, an email from the client, and we have to fix instantly, and we already at our low because users are facing it. We need to fix something urgently.
Hmm.
Not a good place to be, right?
Right.
So it's better to add some extra tools, do some extra efforts in the beginning, and do the debugging at the time that we are developing, by doing the static analysis, which we'll do practically soon in this session only, and prevent those errors by adding an extra step, which we can call kind of compilation of our code, which is again done statically without executing the program, so there is no runtime. It's better, right? So this way we will prevent bugs from happening. Now we'll immediately move towards practical things, like, so how do we use it with PHP or Laravel? So for that, we have some tools available already. First of all, and the one that we're gonna use is PHP Stan, and our example is gonna be Laravel. So there is a Laravel specific version, which is Lara Stan, which is built on top of PHP Stan, and this is developed by Nuno Maduro. Many of us know him. He is the core team member of Laravel and creator of lots of very nice open source projects. So he has created Laravel, Larastan,
Hmm.
and there are many other very good contributors to the project. So we will be using that. Then other options are Sound from the Vimeo team, and our own IDEs. So I use VS Code. VS Code has extensions for it. You use PHP Storm. So PHP Storm also supports the static analysis by default at a basic level. What
Hmm.
happens is, we will see in this session that there are many levels, and IDE has some limitations. It cannot be slow. While we are developing it, it has to give all the inputs, all the feedback very quickly. So IDEs do static analysis at the basic level, and in short, whenever you are typing something, it tells you that, okay, there is a red line below your variable name or at the method level. That's basically static analysis in play. But yeah, they are not enough. We can move forward and use these tools to do it better, and we will see it very, very soon. In short, some of the features that I've listed here, you don't have to remember something. But for example, it can detect, so first line, this one is, it can detect false comparisons. So if we are doing a is a string, now we are comparing with a boolean, so it can tell you that seems like you're doing something wrong. Even if your program is running, it can sometimes break. So it basically guards you against different possibilities, because at runtime it's not going to be same as your local. So we have to take a lot of care. So this static and the whole static analysis thing is all about adding guards, being very sure about how your program is going to behave, being very sure about what type of data will be in a variable, will be passed to a method, will be returned from a function, and all that stuff, which basically prevents many of the errors that we face in production. Similarly, if we have a code somewhere which says that if variable a is an instance of this class, but if the a is basically a string, okay,
Hmm.
when you're writing code, you will not have an idea. When you run in the browser, you may face that issue.
Hmm.
Sometimes what happens when you are testing locally, that piece of code is never executed, but then in production it fails. So that's why it helps. It checks. It knows. Uh,
Hmm.
when our projects grow big, we face similar issues because there are multiple team members working on things, which means that looking at the variable, you may not know if you may be using a particular variable as a boolean only, but someone may use it as a string.
Hmm.
And also, if you are playing with thousands of files, you can easily forget the context. When you move from one file to another, you may forget context.
Hmm.
That's where machines shine, right? So computer or these tools, they keep record of everything. So even if you are playing at class one, then some there is a connection with class two somehow. Some variables are being passed to class two, it knows that this is of this this type. This variable has this type, so it can detect it for you. Otherwise, in the human context, sometimes we forget, we miss it. So it helps them. Similarly, there are a few quick things like unused constructor parameters, always undefined variables, unknown methods called on this, wrong number of arguments. So it prevents the dead code, which is again a burden. We should remove it.
Mm-hmm.
Then let's see. As we move to the practical round, we will have an idea.
Right, right. That unknown methods calls on this. That is I've seen a lot of times and in the code actually. Yeah.
Right. And we don't realize it when coding.
Yeah.
We realize it only when we run the code
Run
through
the
the
code.
browser.
Exactly.
Right. So
Exactly.
it again saves time too, right? Even if you're very good at testing locally and your project is small enough and you
Mm-hmm.
always test in the browser or by running tests, but it
Mm-hmm.
takes time. If you have five of such things in your whole project, but if you run this tool, it immediately tells you that at these five places, I think that you could be better. You improve that, which basically saves a lot of your time.
Yeah, yeah. Also, it saves the time of debugging in the future. So if
Right.
we detect it earlier and then we fix it, and then we don't have the problem in the future.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
So next, yeah, let's go with a demo,
yeah.
and I request you to just yeah, we just discussed and we have identified a code base. So maybe you
Mm-hmm.
can just quickly share your screen and just
Yeah.
tell our users which code base we are gonna demo with, and
Mm-hmm.
then we do it. Let's see how it goes.
Okay. Yeah. So let me come back. Okay. So what we are going to do is we are going to use a Laravel IO project. Okay. And
Right.
then Gaurav will teach me like how to use these cool packages and how to use it. And yeah, let's see. So I'm new to this thing. I didn't check anything. So if we find something, so that is on the fly, and let's see. Fingers crossed, what we get.
All the
I'll
best.
share my screen. I'll share my screen. So here we are. So that is my editor. So what is going on here? Can you guys see it?
Yep, looks good to me.
Okay, so I'll open some file and you can just confirm
Maybe you
that.
can you can show the Laravel IO website just so that people.
I'm actually only sharing this PHP storm, but I'll type it for the people. Well, I go. Okay, so it is in the chat, people. Okay, so this is really cool project. I'll highlight as well. Laravel IO. This is really cool project. It's a forum where Laravel people can come and they can talk to each other. They can like it's like a Stack Overflow for Laravel in short. Yeah.
Right.
Right. Okay. So uh, okay, let me go back to the code again. Okay. So yeah, go. Please guide me what to do now. So I'm the
So
project. Mhm.
yeah, our first step will be to install the Larastan
Right.
composer package.
So I'll go to this link. I'll paste it in the chat for people. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the link.
Yeah, and from here, I'm going to do a dev install.
Right, you can just copy that.
Okay, and in this project, I just clone the Laravel IO project. Okay, I'll create one branch quickly. Uh, Larastan, Larastan first, maybe. Okay, and then in here, I will just do. Uh,
I'll just put that link in the YouTube. So this is the repository Laravel IO that Ocean has cloned just
ah,
before we started.
okay, and also I'll put it into the description as well.
Yep.
So yeah.
Perfect. So we have done the composer require step, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
Again, this is required Dev dependency, so we don't need it on the server.
Yeah.
Next step is to copy the file. So you can create a new file called phpstan.neon. And as this is based on php stan, you'll be creating the file as per the
Okay,
rules
in the
there.
root directory.
The root directory.
Okay, so I'll create new file. The file name should be PHP stan dot
dot neon.
right. Okay, it should be treated as text.
Neon, neon.
Mm,
It's there in the README too of Lara's 10,
okay,
because you'll need to copy the contents anyway. So just copy the contents from the README file there.
okay. So I'll go to the okay, and from there I need to copy that includes right the step
Yeah,
two.
that full section. That's right.
Okay, I'll copy it and I'm inside the file. I'll paste it now. Okay.
All right. So now we can remove the extra things, but it will be good to understand. So let's
Mhm.
start from the beginning. Includes. So basically,
Mhm.
we're using a package, and this Lara stand, what it does is it's basically a wrapper. PHP stand is all about PHP, and Laravel, as we know, is a magical framework, and it offers lots of magic to us.
Right.
Now, this magic is understood by us from the documentation. It's understood by the PHP when it runs from the Laravel framework itself when it executes.
Mhm.
But when we run static analysis, as we know, the code is not executed, which means
Mhm.
that the PHP stand will not have an idea how some of the things are working. We will also see them practically next.
Okay.
So including this basically Laravel extension file does a lot of things. We'll also have a glimpse of that to make PHP stand understand about some of the Laravel magic. So that's why we're doing it. Next is where in which directory do we want to run it. So for now we'll keep it to app. Next is level. So there are 9 levels. Starts from 0. So I request you to change it to 0 for now. We will start with 0,
Okay.
and then as we progress, as we make changes in our code base, we will increment that 1, 2, 3, 4, and up to 9.
Mhm.
9 is like the best of the best. Your code is perfectly statically typed, and you will be saving yourself from lots of possible bugs.
Uh,
But again, going up to the levels of 6, 7 is also very good. Whatever you can achieve, whatever time you have. Then we have ignore errors. In case you want to ignore some of the errors because we either don't want to work on the solution now or we don't know how to do it. Um, but we can we so there is an option to ignore them, but for now there is nothing like that, so you can just remove that those 2 lines, ignore and following it.
okay. So the exclude path
Yeah,
as well, right?
yeah, the exclude paths is also can be removed because we want to run in the whole app folder. Then the last thing is more about when we are it says that by default it's true, so we are changing it to false. This is again more used on the stricter side. Let's say we are using an array which is an iterable.
Mm-hmm.
uh, PHP stand uh, tells you that okay, you should be knowing what is inside your array, because inside array can go, you can have anything. So just being very sure about inside an array you have a string or an integer or something else, it
Mm-hmm.
helps static analysis to guide you better. So we can remove this one as well. No need to disable for now.
Okay. Okay.
So very simple, nothing extra. We are just starting at level 0. Very simple.
Okay.
All
So
right.
so the include means we are just extending, getting that extension from the Larson package. Parameters. This is the directory we are going to check, and this is the label, right? That's
Right. So basically, if we don't include the first
Mhm.
line, then we will be running PHP stand only, which means that it doesn't know Laravel magic and it will yell at us about many things. But
Okay.
we know that okay, some of the Laravel magic is acceptable and it's running fine. So
Mm-hmm.
this we will see that.
Okay.
Okay. Next step is number 3, as it says, basically to analyze our code base.
Mm-hmm.
So I request you to just go to that step 3, copy that, and run that command.
Okay. So we go to this, uh, and then we have this command. Okay.
Now it will look at your code base and find some errors. So we are at level 0. Now it has
Mhm.
found 2 errors.
Right.
So our goal is to fix them as we move forward.
Okay. So there is a authenticate middleware. Okay, and on line 17.
So it tells you that this file and this line has some issue.
Mm-hmm. So it
So
says
let's
put return string, but return statement is missing.
missing. So let's open that file and see what's going on there.
Okay. So I'll go to authenticate. Okay, here, and then we have redirect to. Okay,
Now here we are saying that this function is actually returning a string. But when
right,
you look at it, first of all, it has a if condition, which means that it's not going to always return a string,
right.
right? And even inside the return, it's returning the route helper, right? So it would be an object, I guess.
No, no, it will convert it into the string, right?
Okay, URL.
URL. It will be a
All
complete
right.
URL.
So now let's go back to that error. It says that it's supposed to return a string,
Right.
but this return statement is missing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So we have an if condition, which means that sometimes it may not have that return. Now, see, it's not our own code base, so we cannot change the code base. Otherwise, what I would do if it was my code base is I would put a fallback. In case this is not expecting JSON, I would say return home or login or whatever it is, right?
So what I usually do is I do like this.
Not found, right?
Yeah. So it is just
Otherwise, in
from
this case, because we are not the owner of this code, I would just um, remove that return string thing, just to make sure that for now PHP stand is happy.
just this one.
Yeah, that dot block.
Okay.
Right? So because this is again not our code base,
Mm-hmm.
now you can run that analyze thing again,
Okay.
the command again. It should be happy. It should be fine. But again, this is not the recommended way of fixing things. Okay, first of all, you have to be sure what your function needs to do, and
Yeah,
once you're sure, you need to
there is one thing. So if we keep it that string, okay,
yeah keep
because
that and then
yeah,
put a
because
fallback.
it is in the app folder, right? So then we can modify it. We can own this code.
Yeah,
And
we own
what
this
I've
code.
usually done is in the previous experience. So I've just used a fallback URL.
Return,
So it will go
right?
with it will show some 404 there.
Yeah, but we will not be able to make a PR this way because we are changing the function.
Yeah.
That's why.
Okay. Okay.
Then we have a second error, which is about. So it says parameter request of anonymous function has invalid type. So let's go to the route service provider file and line
Route
51.
service provider. Okay. Route service provider and the route.
And as we move forward, we'll try to speed up so that we can cover more things.
Okay.
So go to that line.
Give me 1 second. What happened? My screen share stopped.
Yeah. Because those line numbers were not visible on the PHP Storm.
I'll make it a little bit.
Yeah.
Somehow PHP Storm is crashing.
Oh, shit.
Okay. Okay. So I'll open it into the VS Code. That's it. Yeah. And I share this one. It has this is awesome now. Okay. So
It happens always.
yeah, yeah. When we are live, then something will happen. And now PHP Storm, I didn't expect it. Okay, so now here we are on the VS Code now. Okay.
Yep.
So,
Should be fine. You can run it here.
yeah. Okay. And now then we need to run that command again, right? So I'll
Yeah.
just run it again. Copy, paste, and then we have that error.
So the learning is always have backups.
Yeah, and that's good. We have a VS Code set up already. Yeah. So here it is. Then I need to find line number 51. Okay. So I'll go to route service provider. Route service provider, line number 55. Here I use Vim key binding, so that's why line numbers are relative. But yeah, exact line number we will see here. So it should be 55.
Okay.
Okay.
So this one says that is
Okay.
invalid type.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So there is this request type hinting,
Mm-hmm.
but that class is not imported at the top. So
Ah.
it thinks that we are talking about the request class, which
Mm-hmm.
is inside this directory. That's not the case, right? This would be eliminate HTTP request,
Right.
right? So all we need to do is import that
Yeah, I
class
did.
to tell
I
us that this will be of this object, because there is no request class in this directory.
oh,
That's why it was yelling at us. Now you
and
may try running
and it
from.
was still working.
See, as I was saying, what happens is
Hmm.
because a piece of code is never being executed in production, it's
Uh,
fine, it
right.
works. But it may start being used any point of time, and at that point in time, users will face 500, which is 500 is like
Internal
very
error.
bad for us. It says nothing to the users; they are not sure what happened, and we have to check our logs and see
Right.
what's going on. See,
So
so
I'll
this
run
static
that again.
analysis helps that. Yep. Did you
I
save the
think.
file?
Oh, I'm in the VS Code. Okay. Sorry. So I'll run that command. And thanks for letting me know. Okay. No errors. All green. Good.
All green, right? So this is good, and congratulations, you passed the level 0.
Okay.
So now you can just maybe commit this and go ahead and increase the level in PHP stand.
So git commit level 0.
Achieved. Yeah, fine. That's fine.
Yeah. It's
Did you?
okay.
And now go to PHP stand neon file again and increase the level to 1.
Level to 5 directly.
No, set it to 1. We'll go step by
1.
step.
Ha. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So here it is. Now I have set it to 1, and then I have saved file. Okay. And then we run that command again. Oh, this time we have a lot of errors. Oh, okay. Only 4. Yeah.
How many are there? Five,
4,
four.
4, 4.
Okay, so let's start from the top.
Mm-hmm.
First one says that access to undefined property
Mm-hmm.
slug
Slug.
inside the series model. So
Yeah.
again, let's start with the magic here. So if you open the class models series class, it's a model. As we all know, we know the Laravel magic, so this is a model.
Right.
But see, for PHP, it's just a class.
Mm-hmm.
So if you talk about regular classes, what we do is we start the class, we specify which properties are there in this class, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then we have a constructor, then we set those properties, get those properties. That's a normal PHP class looks like.
Mm-hmm.
But here we are extending a model, eloquent model, and then it does a lot of magic. So this is one of the use case where Lara Stan helps us. It what it does it looks at our migration files,
Mm-hmm.
and then it adds those properties to this class. So we would have a migration file for adding the series table, and
Mm-hmm.
then it will have some columns, right?
Right.
And then when we are playing with the series model,
Mm-hmm.
Larasten knows what is the flow. So what we do is we create an instance of the model by create, update, or directly fetching from the database, and then we say model object dash the name of the column, because we know this is a property of this eloquent object. All
Mm-hmm.
that is set by Laravel, but PHP Stan does not know about it. So Larastan basically looks at our migration files, then adds those properties to our modules. Now we have actually received error with this model,
Mm-hmm.
because actually I was stuck with this today. I was just doing the static analysis on this Laravel IO,
Uh-huh.
and I was not sure why it's not working.
Mm-hmm.
So what has actually happened is, if you
Uh-huh.
look at the file structure, they have migration to add the series table, but later on they have a migration to drop the series table. And Larastan understands everything. Like if you drop a table, it will remove all those magic that Larastan is doing to make you understand. So if you go
Mm-hmm.
to migrations file,
Okay.
if you go to just scroll down a bit, 2020 04 07 around that, you will have remove series 0705.
Here we have create series. Okay.
Yeah,
And
then
then
there
we
is remove series.
remove series.
So
Yes.
basically, yeah, and if you scroll down, it has schema drop exists. Yeah. So what has happened is the series label has been removed
Mm-hmm.
in July this year, right?
Right.
Somehow I don't know what has happened with Laravel IO. Maybe they removed this module, but they have not removed the model. Eloquent model file is still there. I'm not sure if they're using it somehow, but
Mm-hmm.
because this table is not there,
Mm-hmm.
those mappings are not there with the file, and that's why it's not working.
Okay. So in this case, what should we go with? Like what should we do to
So
solve
in
it?
this case,
Hmm.
just please open the model again,
Okay.
and at the top add a dot block at the top. So line number, I'm just above the class series. So we'll add a dot block and tell PHP stand that okay, this class has a property. Yeah. So just do at the right property.
Hmm.
Yeah, and then say string because this is of type string,
String and
and then
then
say slug, dollar slug.
slug. Okay.
So this way we are doing two things. One is to make PHP stand understand that okay, this class has a property.
Hmm.
So basically it understands that okay, doc blocks. So doc blocks are telling me. So I would go with that and allow the property on this class, slug property on this class. Also, the the IDEs like PHP Summon and VS Code will also be able to detect this, and whenever you are playing with this class
Mm-hmm.
on other places like controller and other places, you will have auto completion.
Right.
So we have two benefits this way. So now you may run that again, and that or error should go away.
And should we do it for title as well?
Yes, Python is also there in the list. So yeah, there.
Okay.
So we should
Okay.
do it too for the title.
Right.
So
Right.
you can do it, and then both of those errors should go away.
Yeah.
But again, as I said,
Hmm.
if the migration was there,
Hmm.
if the table was not dropped, it would work. In fact, if you look at the structure, there are lots of eloquent models in this project. We
Hmm.
faced error with only this one because this table was dropped. Otherwise, with other models, it's working because the migration files are there. So thanks to Larastan, it is understanding this magic and helping us with
Ah,
static
right,
analysis.
right. So I was actually wondering like how it is understanding that migrations. And now you said that we are using Larastan, and then Larastan is teaching PHP Stan to understand these things. Yeah.
Right. So what Larastan does is it goes to our migration files, it reads them,
Mm-hmm.
and it creates it tells Larastan tells PHP Stan that okay, this class has these properties. This
Ah,
class has these properties. So don't worry about them.
okay, okay, okay. So I'll try to run this command again. Let me confirm that I've saved it. I'm not used to save option, and this GitHub Copilot is also a little bit annoying. Okay. Okay. So we have two errors now. So those two errors are gone. Yeah.
Yeah. Next says that
Notification.
with Livewire, it says that the notifications are there. So please open that Livewire component.
Sure. We go with the notification. It's in the Livewire folder. Yeah, we are in that component.
Right. So go to that line.
Okay. What do you
Are
want?
you a Livewire user? Do you know Livewire?
I have used it for like little bit like just for tinkering, but to be honest, I never used it after that.
Okay. So here what's happening is
Hmm.
it says that this dot notification used in line number 41 as well as line number 43, right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
now again, just like we go back to the basics, this is a PHP class and there is no notification property, right? So it yells at us, where does this come from? Now there is Livewire magic here. So if you scroll down, there is a method there which says get notification attribute or something. If you search for it, there should be a method.
Yeah,
Yeah,
here we
get
have. Hmm.
right. So when you actually do this dot notification, there is Livewire framework sitting there,
Hmm.
and it will call that get notification property just
Hmm.
like we have accesses in Laravel, and they are used. This one is actually used, and that's why it actually works when you're running the browser. But our static analysis tool does not know about it. So we need to tell it that there is a property called this notification for this
Mm-hmm.
class. So I again request you to go to the top and add a dot block for the class and say property,
Okay.
add the red property.
property.
And the type, now the type is actually notification, database notification. Actually, if you look at the return type of that, yeah, function, so you can put that is the type, and the variable is notification, not ID there.
ID. Yeah, yeah.
Perfect. Now if you run again, it should be fine. So basically we are telling that we have this,
Property.
now we have data stand, but unfortunately we don't have live wire stand yet. If we would have it, it would understand this and we don't have to put
Yeah,
this piece of code here,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
right?
So I'll run it again, and then we have only one error now. Yeah.
Yeah. So please go to that
Okay.
class thread model, and I also searched for it. I mean, somehow I'm not sure if there's a bug or something. If you search for word latest, it's not there at all. Not sure there is something in the code base or what. And again, as we discussed, maybe so if you search for the latest word,
Here we have it actually. Two
no,
feet.
what I'm saying is, where does this latest creation is coming from? This is this. I don't think I searched for it. There is no column. There is no accessor.
Mm-hmm.
If you search for latest word in the whole code base, it's not there.
Ah.
search,
This is
search,
interesting.
search in the whole code base, and you will not find it. Like anything that may help you. So maybe this two feed item is not being used. So you can search for latest creation. You can search for latest C capital in the camel case. It will not be there at all. Like there is, I couldn't find no magic. I'm not sure if the viewers see it and they can quickly search and help us with. But I think it's a bug. Something is there. Maybe I'm not being able to see this.
Right.
Right. Something is there. I don't understand. So we need to do something about it, right? So there is a way to ignore errors. Again, not recommended, but in this case, for example, we are not in a control. We want to fix it.
Right.
We don't know. If I would be in their place, I would do something and fix this bug. Maybe it's a typo or something else. But for now, what we can do is we can tell PHP stand to ignore this. So I have this line handy. I can just maybe paste in the chat, so I can copy it from there. Okay. Otherwise, it's there in the documentation as well.
Okay.
Oh, actually, I pasted in the YouTube chat.
Okay.
Just paste it as well.
Okay. Okay.
So I can do it. But again, I would repeat, this is not recommended way. Because we want to use static analysis to improve our code base, not to tell it to ignore. But sometimes it's handy when the situation is not in a control and we are in a hurry or something. Right? So here what we are telling it is that you can ignore next line. Please don't worry about it for now. I know about this and I'll fix it later. Okay. Now you may run this. Again, this is last resort, not recommended. If you are seeing this and you are the owner of Laravel IO, you should fix this.
Drives need to check it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So you may commit this and let's quickly move to level 2. We have.
Yeah. So I'll just commit quickly. Okay. Commit with level 1 sheet. Okay. And then I'll go with the PHP stand new, and I will just change it to 2 this time. I have to keep remember that I have to save the file as well. Okay. So now I'm closing all the files, and now I'll run that command again.
Yeah.
Okay. And now we should see some different errors.
Right.
Whoa.
So let's improve. Again, looks many, but don't worry, they are not.
Not many. Yeah. Let's start.
Not hard.
Yeah.
So the first one says call to undefined method title. So and open that job, please. Open that generate social image.
Generate social image. I'm here.
Now, if you stay, so it actually article model has that method title, but if you scroll to the top of the file, it's actually the doc block issue. It says that this is a thread model. Actually, it's an article model.
Okay, so we need
right?
to type in correctly.
So yeah, first of all, we are typing in badly, which means that our auto completion in the IDE level will be very bad.
Mhm.
So it can result in issues, and also yeah, we should type hint properly.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
that's the first issue. Now we'll save time here, so we will not run analyze every time we fix something. We'll quickly
Yeah.
fix all of them and then run analyze. So
Okay.
when look at the second method, second
Mark
issue,
last activity.
what is the issue?
Access to undefined property. This is the last activity property. So I'll go to mark last activity.
Hmm.
Mark last activity, and then we have this one. So
Right.
replyable.
Right. So if you look at this, actually this is if you hover over this replyable variable,
Hmm.
it is. I'm not sure if it will show you. Yeah, it is actually an object of replyable, and if you open that, replyable is actually an interface.
Oh, great.
So you may open that. Actually, they have put in the models directory, which is not good. Maybe they could have a separate directory. It's fine. Again, not happening. Not no issue with the directory structure. Not
Mm-hmm.
this is not the cause of this issue. But this is an then interface, and we
Mm-hmm.
have a model called thread, and that thread model is implementing this interface.
Ah, okay.
So this replyable is actually the thread instance.
Right.
Right? So
So we
all we
can.
need to do is say that this replyable is actually an instance of thread. That's replyable. Yeah, you can
Mhm.
copy that. And then we will be fine.
Okay, cool. So that I
So,
understand like how. So there is a type ending problem, and then we fixed it with the correct dog block.
right. So again, I'd like to tell all of the viewers that
Mm-hmm.
what we are doing is not extra work. It is going to help us with type when we are code completion in our IDE, and
Mm-hmm.
also sometimes we can when we look at this, we know that okay, this is actually thread, so it will help us.
Right.
It will save us from making mistakes. All right.
So
There
let's.
is another way with PHP stand. There is another way. I'll just quickly paste you something, which
Mm-hmm.
is even better because doc blocks do not come in the way at the PHP level. Like no matter what you put in the doc block, when something is running in the browser, PHP is not gonna worry about it. For PHP, it's just commit. Right? There is another way. If you want to make sure that in case this is not correct at the PHP level, we should not move forward. Then you can put this line after line number 16. Yeah, there.
Paste it. Okay.
So here what we are telling, so actually this here we are telling PHP as well as PHP stand that this replyable has to be an instance of the thread class. If it's not, prevent this
Right.
execution from moving forward. This way, in case we miss something, then the code further will not execute, which is
Mm-hmm.
actually good in sometimes because this also means that it will stop at the runtime. But if you are moving forward, if you are sending an email to the customer or let's say debiting some from someone's bank transaction, you need to prevent that, right? Something should not happen if it's wrong. So this is like proper way of making sure that something is an instance of the right
Mm-hmm.
class. And it was so in that case we don't need that doc block. We can remove that doc block and it will still work because PHP stand looks at that and confirms. It knows that okay, the execution is not going to work otherwise. We already know that means that we are fine even without the doc
But do
blocks.
you think it is a last like mark last activity, right? So we are preventing any activity if the user is
You
not.
may remove the doc block.
Yeah.
And so basically, when the PHP stand reaches at the level at the last activity thing in the same method, it knows that there will be thread instance only, and this replyable will actually be thread instance only. Then only it's gonna work. So it will not yell at us anymore. Right? So there are two ways to fix this error.
Mm-hmm.
This one, assert error, is better because it will stop the execution at the browser level too,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
and the dot block level is like safe. Without the we're just able to mute the error for now.
Okay.
Right? Are you with me?
Yes, I'm with you. Okay.
All right.
All right. Let's move to
Next,
the
move
next
to
one
the next one, which error is
article.
and there
Submitted method.
says submitted method is not there, right? So you may go to that file and go to that line.
Submitted method. It is
Line number
219. Okay, here.
so uh, Laravel is again very good at detecting the scopes.
Hmm.
Again, Periscopes are magic of Laravel.
Mm-hmm.
Laravel does detect them when you use them with the correct object. So let's say you have an eloquent object somewhere in your controller or somewhere else, and then you call these methods, it works. But here actually,
Mm-hmm.
when we're looking at it,
Mm-hmm.
we are looking at the query variable, which is an object of
Builder, right?
builder
Correct.
class.
Mm-hmm.
So for the static analysis tool, it's just a builder class. So we need to tell this tool that actually this is of this model. So I'll just quickly paste you something. Again, this is dot block,
Mm-hmm.
but we are just telling it that it's okay. It's builder, but again, it's of this type. So I just sent you uh, the the code that you can put just above the variable,
Okay.
and you can put it there. So what we're telling it is, yes, this is builder, but
Mm-hmm.
again of article type, right? So article is again our eloquent model name.
Mm-hmm.
So now Laravel knows that this query variable is actually from article. Now it will look for the scopes inside that model, which we already have, and it will work. So it will not yell at us anymore.
Okay. Okay.
Again, to repeat, if you're using at the controller level where we have a specific eloquent object of
Mm-hmm.
article class, it will
Mm-hmm.
work. We will not need to put the dot block.
Okay. Okay.
It
And
is
that
clear.
is
It
because
doesn't.
of Laravel, right? So because of that Laravel package we have used, so
The
that's why
scopes
it's
work.
useful.
The
Yeah.
scopes work. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So
Yeah.
you can put it again on inside the scope published. I guess that's the next.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can just put it there as well, and we will be fine.
Yeah.
What
So
were
this
the? Yeah. Then
this
the
one is
next
working. Yeah.
errors are inside the thread model.
Mm-hmm.
So you may open that line
201.
201 inside the thread
Go
model.
thread.
201.
Control G is not working. Let's go.
Okay, so now we are fighting. On one hand, our return type is collection.
Right.
On inside the doc blocks, we are saying that this is an array, and an array will contain the objects of the
Thread.
thread
Mm-hmm.
class.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fight, right? Whether is it a collection or an array?
Right.
So we have to decide. Like we know because Laravel does the magic, and when the like just like there is a two-string magic with
Mm-hmm.
PHP, there is an arrayable. If it's arrayable, which collection class is, it
Mm-hmm.
will automatically return an array of the objects
Mm-hmm.
which will be of that class. So both of these things are actually correct,
Mm-hmm.
but actually return from this method is actually of collection, which is correct, which is perfectly right when we remove the magic part,
Mm-hmm.
right? So yeah, and we can remove dot block completely. Like we already have a written statement, so
Right.
generally I prefer to not keep dot blocks. Actually, for me, I hate dot blocks. They are comments anyway. As
Yeah.
because, and with newer PHP versions, we can make everything inbuilt, which gives us the benefit of actual checking from the PHP level,
Mm-hmm.
which helps us during the development.
Yeah.
So I prefer that. So you can do it at this level too, like for this method, and then also for
So this one as well, I
feed
believe.
by tag paginated. Yeah, do it for that and
And
do it
this
for
one as
that
well.
as well, right?
Okay.
So we don't need that magic, and at the places where we're using that variable, we can do
Mm-hmm.
the dot blocks there if need be to tell PHP stand that this will be an array of this type, right?
Right.
So
Right.
that's fine, but doing it here, there is a fight. That's why it's yelling at us.
Right. Right. And we are also like strictly type hinting what we are returning. So then it is we are
You
confirmed it.
already have it, yeah.
Yeah. So we are confirmed that it will get this one, but that dog block is really conflicting. Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Let's quickly move to
So
the next one, which is undefined property duration
duration. Okay.
252. Again, very good instance here. So if you
Mhm.
look at it, it actually looks for just above that. There is a duration. If you scroll up, line number. Actually, line numbers have changed because you have made changes. So if you run
Oh,
again, the
okay.
line number will change.
Yeah, you are correct. So I'll run it again quickly, and we should be having, yeah.
Two
So
four
it
three.
is three.
Two four
Yeah.
three. Yeah.
So here it is, and the error says that access to.
Duration is not there, right?
Yep.
If you look at it, we are actually doing the alias at the query level, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Laravel knows that when you say first, it actually returns an object of this class, and it looks for duration column. But the duration is column is not there in our migrations, right? It's not one of our columns. It's actually just an alias that we have added
Right.
custom query, row
Mm-hmm.
DB query, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it's yelling at us. And the quicker way for now just is to just again add
Ignore
a
it.
dog block saying that just ignore this next line
Okay.
because it's like
Yeah, yeah.
not the
Actually,
PHP job. This is MySQL job inside PHP. That's why it's not happy with us. So you can just say ignore next line, just what we did before. Yeah, you can do it and it will be fine.
okay.
You can move to next one, which is similar.
Mm-hmm.
Inside app user models,
Mm-hmm.
um, exactly what we discussed before. We
Most
need
of
to tell
this.
it that this is of this type. That's why this and the scopes will start working.
Mm-hmm.
So the error is the same. In fact, maybe we can just skip it for now. It will be fine. We can save time. It's the
Okay.
same, exactly same what we discussed for the class above there.
Okay. Okay. Clear.
All right. And then
Mm-hmm.
also for the others, it's the same that we discussed. There is a return type and then there is a dot block, and they are fighting.
Okay.
So it's the same thing. We
Mm-hmm.
can follow the same approach there.
Okay. So the quick thing is just to remove that article dog blocks, right?
Right, right. We can follow the same thing. So we'll try to just focus on new things here.
Okay. So should I change the label?
Yeah, you can change the level and run the command. I
Uh,
guess we are short of time. We already seven.
yeah. Actually. So actually, this thing happens actually. So whenever we are talking with person, and if you would have done it, like it would be much faster. But yeah, I'm learning, right? So
Well, no, the actually execution has not been slow. That's fine.
mhm,
The main part is we try to understand
exactly.
what each step means, the reasoning behind the each change that we are doing, and also the related concepts. That's more important than completing something,
Right,
right?
right. So exactly
And
that is what I said, that we are learning things and we are trying to understand, and which is better than completing something. Yeah.
right.
Okay. So I'll run it again. I have changed the label.
And I'm just looking at things. Then level three. What are the new
Home
things that we can do?
controller. This is something different I saw.
Right.
Blocks. Hmm?
Okay, so let's start with home controller. Is
Ah,
it?
okay. Home controller. Okay. So it line number 16. I'll go to home controller. Line number 16. Here we
So again, we have a closure and we are returning something from the closure. For PHP, yeah, it doesn't know. You haven't
have.
specified the return type, which means it's void. So you need to tell it, right, what you're returning it. It will help you with other stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, all you need to do here is to specify the return type, which is collection.
Is a collection.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's illuminate support collection.
Unit support. We support,
Yeah,
and we are good. Okay.
you're good. We're good with that.
Okay.
And then you can look at trust proxies middleware.
Trust proxies. Line number 22. Trust proxies. Line number 22. Here
So
we
this
are.
is this is interesting thing I saw. So here the it says that this is of type string, but actually it was a mistake in the dot block. It's actually integer. I looked at the latest Laravel repository. I mean,
Uh,
a skeleton repository. So if you create a new Laravel project today, it
uh-huh.
will be at the rate variable integer. So you just need to change this to int.
And
Of course, the headers have also changed,
mm-hmm.
but the main part is it is integer. So it was actually an issue with the dot block initially.
Okay, okay.
right?
Also now, uh,
Now
next one.
let's look at that stub file thing. Which file is it there?
Where's the stuff
Just
file?
scroll up. This issue. Yeah, stub file is one. Yeah.
Okay.
Exception handler.
Okay. So line number 20, PHP dog block of properties, exception handler, don't report is not covariant with the PHP. What is that covariant?
Open that file.
Handler. Yeah, yeah, sure. Handler.
Now, so the doc block of don't report says that it's an array. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not specific what goes inside an array.
Mm-hmm.
When we look at it, we know that it's an array of strings.
Strings. Right.
But now you go to the exception handler framework class.
Okay.
If you go inside it, I'm sure if it will work there.
Okay.
And if you scroll down, go to that don't report, it actually
Mm-hmm.
says that this is of type arrays of type string. So it's very specific. Now you have overridden a property, but it's not of same type for PHP stand actually. That's why it's
Mm-hmm.
yelling at us that okay, you have a child class, you have the same property, you're overriding it, but the type is different. That's
Right.
not good. That's why it says that it's not covariant.
Mm-hmm.
So all you need to do is change that there and say that this is of type. Yeah, and it will be fine.
Yeah.
But sometimes, let's say we are using something and the
Mm-hmm.
dot block is incorrect at the framework level.
Mm-hmm.
So we are using a method of a class, and just like we found that actually the dot block of the previous class was wrong. It
Mm-hmm.
was supposed to be integer. If that happens, then that's why it says that you can create stub files. You can add sub files where you can just specify that okay, this is a third party code, but I'm just adding these sub files here with the right types so that our code base is fine. We are basically extending a class from a framework, and that code is not in our control.
Mm-hmm.
The doc blocks are somehow incorrect there. We can add stub files in our project to
Mm-hmm.
fix it, and that's what Larastan is doing. I'm not sure if you can share your screen browser now. If you can share your browser and open the Larastin repository, you can show it. In fact, maybe you can also the vendor directory here. You can go to vendor directory.
Okay. I can go to vendor directory. So
Go to vendor, go to Nuno Maduro.
I'll make it a little bit.
Yeah,
Okay.
go inside Nuno Maduro.
Nuno, where is Nuno Maduro?
Nuno Maduro. Yeah, there
There
is
it is. And then we have
Larastan source.
source.
And then let me quickly search. Just a second.
Mm-hmm.
If you open the PHP stand neon file, there is a path there.
Okay. So I'll open that file. Laristan and then extensions. Okay.
Yeah, that will tell us more actually. So open that extension neon. Now
Mm-hmm.
see there is a path here, stub files.
Mm-hmm.
So there are many stubs here. Now open just one of the stubs that you like, of your
Okay.
liking.
So I have stubs here, and then maybe let's go with uh,
Any
enumerable.
of any of them you like.
Okay. Okay.
So see here, it's not an actual code. It's just correcting the stubs there, and it helps. And as you can see, there are generics too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see it.
And this is how the magic is understood by PHP Stan.
Mm-hmm.
There is a stuff. In fact, maybe if you open the stuff for model, people may be a bit more familiar. So there's a model stuff there. There's also relationship stuffs there, more fun in others.
Okay.
Right? So basically adds some things like of different. So there is no actual execution, just a piece of code that improves the log blocks that are there in the actual code, and it helps PHP Stan understand what each method is about, what it accepts, and all that stuff.
Okay.
Right. So this using these stubs is one of the ways PHP Larastan is understanding the making PHP Stan understand the magic of Laravel. And we can do it too in case we have a third-party code which is not in our control and we need to fix the types. We can add stub files for the same.
Okay, so that my assumption is we need to just add that here, right, with the stub path, and then
Yes, it will be a complex thing to do. For now, we already fixed that thing, so we are
yeah.
fine. This was a good use case to discuss.
Ah,
So it can go up to that level, right?
okay.
In fact, yeah, it's a point in my slide that there are many other things. It's very powerful.
Mm-hmm.
For the beginners, it's very easy as we just did, but as you progress,
Mm-hmm.
it has PHP stand has been there for years, although the V1 was recently released, but it has been there for years and it's very stable and offers almost all
Mm-hmm.
of the features that you would need to make your code more statically typed. And I highly recommend it to do
Right.
in all
Right.
of your production projects.
Right. Actually, we planned a little more, but yeah, the time is almost over. So I will tinker this thing. And yeah, it was really nice to know that without executing code, that we are getting some errors and we are trying to fix it. And those errors were actually means like
Yeah,
yeah,
actually bugs in the system that we
yeah,
found.
actual bugs actually. So I was not finding the correct word, but yeah, so those were actual bugs, and we were not detecting it. So yeah, it's quite a helpful tool. Yeah.
So maybe you can share my screen quickly again and I'll just go through the rest of the slides in
Yep.
a minute.
I'll show you. Okay. Okay. So your screen should be on the. Yep.
Perfect.
Right.
So yeah, in short, this is a very good line from Spashi guys in their book Laravel IO. Says
Mhm.
you let the computer be worried about making sure your code works, so you can focus on what actually matters. So this tool is actually you may find a little hard in the beginning because you are looking at it for the first time, but if you play it with a bit, you'll be very used to it, and
Mhm.
it will surely help you speed up and save you from lots of bugs, right? There's some extra stuff as I was just saying. We should declare strict types for each PHP file. We can create custom checkers. So this is like inbuilt checkers that we have a lot of them to work on. But there are
Yeah.
also custom checkers that we can create for our own code. So let's say you have some proprietary styles of doing coding,
Mhm.
your own way of adding files in a Laravel project or any other project. You can create custom checkers to make sure that your team members follow that. So what happens is generally, let's say you have a big team, you're working on them, you have some rules that all the team members should follow for projects. You have
Mhm.
to check them manually. You have to do lots of code reviews, but you can create custom checkers and PHP stand will do it for you. So you save a huge number of time there for existing team members as well as new team members because you don't need to train them accordingly.
Right.
The errors will tell them that you need to fix it. Just like errors tell them to write the PHP, to use PHP the right way, you can create custom rules and they will do it the right way as per your own style.
Mhm.
Right. SAM also offers taint analysis, which is for security. So it can detect a few security issues for you too, which is great. Then if you have already a very big code base, then this baseline thing with PHP stand, it basically hides existing errors. So you don't have to wait for using PHP stand and fix all those errors. What baseline does is it checks all the errors once and hides all of them until you fix them. So you can fix them one by one. But all the new code that is being added, it will check it. Kind of it will like automatically hide the existing errors for you and all the new code will follow that approach. So even if you want to use it with existing projects, you don't have to fix them right away because of course you're progressing with the existing development.
Right.
So you can tackle them later, which is like unbelievable feature. You can just start working with it right away with even with your very old projects.
Yeah, actually, I was going to ask you the same thing because we have 8 9 years old project and we have a lot of legacy there. And let's suppose if you want to use this tool, then it will be difficult, right? So on the fly, we need to first fix all the errors and then you came up with the answer already. Yeah,
You can check the documentation and it's very easy
definitely.
to use it,
Definitely.
right? Then generics again, it's like for the people who know, again, not we don't have enough time to talk about. Then again, I'm also not very expert with it, but basically if you come from the TypeScript background you will understand it a bit and
Hmm.
other statically typed languages. But basically when you are playing with even in Laravel, you can because your collection can have different types of models, uh,
Mhm.
and you are following some of the patterns like repositories and other kinds of patterns where you have different classes as your helpers and services, and
Mhm.
they cater to different models with similar functionality. You can use generics
Mhm.
where the types are dynamic, but of a pattern of a, let's say following to an interface or something, which gives you the auto completion benefit even if uh, you don't have those doc types of specific models, and it's like the next stage of static analysis and also code completion.
Yeah.
Then again as I said in the beginning, you can run it in the CI and
Mhm.
do it with after each PR is updated or added, and it saves you lots of time.
You are actually answering all the questions which I was supposed to ask. Like I was going to ask you about that CI thing. So before just pushing some code to the live or to some staging environment or live environment,
Right.
we can just put it there, right? So and then we can just the developer can just see their PR and fix those stuff.
Fix those issues.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's nice. It's nice. Okay, so yeah, unfortunately we couldn't cover that level three, but I'll try with on my own. Yeah, uh, yeah. Uh, Let me hide the template and then yeah, yeah,
Perfect.
yeah, yeah. So this is the first time I checked Laristan and the static analysis as well. We
And
are
how was it?
It was good actually, and we are using it already in the project. But I didn't
Oh,
check it. Yeah, I didn't check it like what is going on there and like all these stuffs. But now I know with your help and with your guidance, now I know what is going on there, and then I can just fix those things as well. So
right.
which is great, which is great, and that part when it is not needed to run the code, it's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so it was nice learning. Yeah.
Same
Uh,
here. Good to talk with you. And I hope our viewers learn a bit from it and start using it. And yeah, in case they have any questions, they can reach to you, me, and
yeah.
anyone in the community
And
anytime.
also, I'll put all the Twitter handles and credentials of like Gaurav, so you can just reach him.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, yeah, in the description. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
have a nice
Thank
day.
you.
Good, great weekend. Bye bye.
Yeah. You too. Have a great day. And it was really a pleasure, actually. A pleasure all mine.
Same here.
Yeah.
Same
Thank
here.
you. So, bye bye, guys. Thank you so much for
Yep.
checking this video. Yeah.
Bye bye.